switch camera angles before I started the stream because this looks preposterous. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll leave that up so that people can see how silly how silly it looks when I turn the craft camera back up and leave everything else in place for a minute. I do have Minecraft open. We are gonna disable that ring light camera, and we are gonna head over to the HermitCraft camera. Uh-oh. Well, that's broken. Let's maybe fix that. It's a bonus stream. Bonus stream. Everybody loves a bonus stream. Bonus stream. Bonus stream. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Bonus stream. Da 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 da. Dun, dun. Why is the camera over that far? Da 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 da. Dude, why? It feels like it's cropping me out way earlier than it should. Is there something with the... Yeah, there we go. There we go. I'm all in frame now. La 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 la. Let's see who's online and update our status. Status. Open the status GUI to set your status. Dun, boom, boom. Dun, 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 dun. Da da na 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 na. Bum 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 da 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 do do do. I'm gonna record a little bit of voiceover and a segment where we close out the episode 59. Hope you're feeling fine. We're setting up the stream even though it doesn't say set up the stream right now. Minecraft is the game we're gonna play. Setting that. Bonus stream, bonus stream. Okay, I am back from having I'm gonna say brunch because I didn't really have breakfast, and it was basically lunchtime by the time I got food. But yeah, while cooking and eating, I watched an episode or two, actually I guess two, of Taskmaster with my fiance. That was enjoyable. I got to see some of the folks who appear on Taskmaster at the Comedy Store London last week, and so we have started watching that. Let's see. Hello, Hufflepuff Cookie. Welcome, Katie-ish. But yeah, we watched Season 1, Episode 2, and Season 1, Episode 3 while I took care of the kitchen stuff. Had myself a nice little lunch. Okay, I think we should put... okay. So, here's what we need to do. We need to grab some shulkers that are empty. God, these are not empty shulkers. Okay, let's use the bed. Okay. Who else is online? Impulse, Joe, Red, and Wells. Okay, so we need empty shulkers for this next part of the episode. And oh, we definitely need a new Totem of Undying because I broke one earlier. If you can even believe that, Joe Hill's breaking a Totem of Undying. Yeah, Okay, so here's what I'm thinking is we take all this stuff here. We're just gonna empty these into these random chests down in my cellar here. Oh, gosh. I feel like my headphones are turned up a little high. Oh, and my voice is down a little low because we were setting up for the craft stream earlier. So I think I need to turn this one up. Whoa! Okay, yep, we should be good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What condition my condition was in. Game noise is loud compared to your voice, is what I'm seeing. in the chat. Alrighty. Just as a quick reminder, because we had the arts and crafts stream earlier, we are actually currently $14 away from our second face camera expansion. Face camera resets every day at 6 a.m. Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania time, because in this house we follow Groundhog Day rules. In order to accomplish our next task here on the server, we need to have a bunch of empty shulker boxes. And we don't have those right now without emptying these other things. Looks like some of this stuff could have been consolidated better between these chests, but whatever. It's fine. This is not... We don't need to be super precious about this, okay? We're just clearing out some things real quick, like zip zip. One. Oh, yeah, okay. These things actually need to stay here because we're going to be using them for our flower stuff. Put those behind the bed. We're out of space. I feel like these seeds and those... Some of this stuff must be able to be consolidated. Oh, wait, here we go. Here are some spots. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, those seeds... Okay, and those seeds can definitely... Nope, they're the same seeds. How did I screw that up? It's fine. It's fine. Okay. I'm not sure I really need to keep all these wooden pickaxes and tools. We'll just dump those in here for now. Polarberry says, my first time catching a stream properly. How are you? I'm good. I'm doing my spring cleaning episode. Taran Deep Saney says, why is the face so small? The face camera gets bigger when we hit tipping milestones. We are currently 14 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. Thank you for asking, Taran Deep Saney. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many empty shulkers do we have in here? This one's almost empty. I think a few of the red ones. These two can be consolidated into that one. Most of these other ones are definitely fullish. Okay, so it's just these two additional red ones here we can clear out. Okay. So we put the one with the fireworks back in there. Okay. So that's 6 empty shulkers. That feels like an okay start, but we need to grab some more to record this last segment. Was that a count laugh? No. On no account was that a count laugh. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Dee 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 dee. Okay. That one's definitely not empty. These ones over here might have some empty ones though. Excuse me. Empty, empty. Okay, great. Okay, we'll leave those blocks down there. We will pick that up. Okay. Do 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 do. Bum 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 ba da bum. Bum ba da bum 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 bum. Ow. Bum bum ba ba bum 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 ba da bum. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay. So do y'all know where Pearl's dumpsters are? Besides, I know there's one dumpster by her shop, but like, do you know where she set up additional dumpsters? Okay. Well, either way, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start the recording. So face camera's going off. HermitCraft Season 9, Episode 59, Segment Golf, Voiceover, Take 1, and Action. Of course, it would help if I actually had the notes I wrote down. Not the notes about Taskmaster. The notes about other things. Here we go. That's the wrong episode. Episode 59 notes. Okay. In Game 1, I only drew one Hermit, and I was playing as a speedrunner against a PvP deck. A big disadvantage. The game went to Cub. In Game 2, though, I drew two Hermits. Cub only drew one. Now, his type advantage still helped him. He almost got me, but I did eke out a victory. My very first victory with my speedrunner-only deck. In Game 3, we had each won one. It was anyone's match. But I had two problems. One, not enough speedrunners to power up my Cub card. And two, no second Hermit to complement him. A quick victory to the opposing player who took the series. On the subject of spring cleaning, apparently our friend Jevin was doing some tidying up and says he has one of my take two on that. On the subject of spring cleaning, my friend Jevin was doing some tidying and says he discovered one of my TCG cards. I don't know how that happened. Let's go meet up with him at the card shop. My friend Jevin was also doing some tidying and says he found one of my TCG cards. How did that happen? Let's go find out! Okay, that should be all the voiceover that we needed. And, okay. So now we are going to roll. We're going to stop the recording and check to make sure that the audio was good on that. So I'm going to turn the face camera back on. It's me down here in the lower left. Refresh. HermitCraft Season 2 Hermits. Cub only drew one. Now, his type advantage still is to power up my Cub card. There we go. That sounds good to me. HC9-059-raw-golf VOTCG and Jev transition. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start recording another segment. Let me just make sure we haven't missed any tips during that recording bit. Nope. And well, we need to turn that into day anyway. If anybody is enjoying the show so far, you are the live streaming audience as I create my next episode. I did a lot of editing on it last night. I did some replay mod work. I'm feeling like it's almost ready. I just needed a little bit of voiceover glue to stitch a few transitions together there. And now I need to clear out some of this. Oh, wow, there's a lot of nonsense over here. A lot of granite. Wow, and stone. Hey, we do have some tips rolling in. Let's see who they're from. Well, just one, but it's still appreciated. Mark rolling in and tipping 6 says, Joe being Joe is always worth it. £5 sterling in honor of your recent visit across the pond. thank you very much. That comes out to, we're now 8 abacus beads away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Berserk Loon says, the fact that you show so much of the recording and editing process is great. It is, but also when I try to do this and I'm not live streaming, I end up making stupid mistakes that y'all would have yelled at me for. Like, Joe, you have a bunch of overlays on, or Joe, the audio levels are broken, or whatever. And so it turns out that the safest way for me to record anything is with y'all watching. Because otherwise, I don't have like a second person here watching like a monitor of what's being recorded, and I can't watch it myself easily at the time. Boy, there's a lot of food in here. Who made all this rabbit stew? Do we know who made all this rabbit stew? Okay. The soup group? Okay. Sheree says, so we help you in a way. Yeah, a live audience is really important for all sorts of television production work. Like, I was reading a book by the guy who directed, like, every episode of Cheers, and he was saying he could tell by the way the audience sounded which takes were good and which takes were bad. Like, without even, like, even when he wasn't looking at the actors, right? There's ways to, and there's also things like you can just kind of tell if something fell flat, you know, or you can tell if there's a technical problem. Like, okay, here we go. Let's go. Start stream. No, start recording. HermitCraft, Season 9, Episode 59, Segment Hotel, Take 1. And I feel like it's best if we emerge from the sea here, like Godzilla. Okay. So, actually, let's think about this. How do we want it? The best way to do this is actually to do a fresh replay mod file here, so that we can emerge from the sea. HC9 is up here, yeah. Okay. With replay mod, sometimes if you know you just need something quick, it's easier to have the files start right there. Okay, so we have the world come in. Okay, so take 1 and action. And we're just going to come straight up. So the camera will be here. That sign might be gone, but there are still a few other things at World Spawn that need to be cleaned up. You know, obviously, we're going to leave certain monuments, like our beautiful map here, and our workbench, which has a bunch of stream torches mounted on it. One day these will end up in some sort of HermitCraft Season 9 museum. But for right now, those can stay. What doesn't need to stay at World Spawn is all of these chests of stuff that are left over from the old tent we had. Cleo and I got rid of the tent right before the Empire's people showed up, which Ollie pointed out looked kind of intentional and rude. But no, we just kind of were like, oh, okay, we should have World Spawn not look ugly. Because we were working on the TFC memorial and wanted it to look nice. And then it was just like, oh, but also there's a bunch of people showing up and there's no tent to welcome them full of, like, I don't know, what do people need? Netherrack. So we're going to grab all, let's start in the upper left here, just so we can have some consistency. We're going to go ahead and empty all of these chests here into these boxes. Now, this is technically the most responsible way to do this, where we just kind of click around or whatever. But honestly, at a certain point, we've got all these shulkers. Let's just go for it, right? Let's just pow, pow, pow. Look at that. And then, now that we've got this big pile here, we can just like click on things and put them in boxes. Da 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 da. Uh-oh, I'm gonna lose my actual tools if I'm, oh, that was my actual fireworks. It's fine. Oh, those were... Dang it. Maybe this is a bad plan. I have lost a bunch of my actual gear. If I just keep clicking in this corner, though... But, like, it's so much faster if I move around. Yeah, there we go. Click, 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 do-do-do-do-do, click, 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 do-do-do-do-do, click the things. I'm not even picking up stuff anymore. We're gonna have to move deeper into the recesses here of this pile. Yeah. Ta-da! Oh, wow, this is going way faster than I had hoped. Although I probably should have put these shulkers way closer also. Learning is something we accomplish by doing, and sometimes we accomplish it by screwing up what we attempted to do correctly in the first place. But that's okay, 'cause it's Minecraft and there's low stakes. Things don't have to be perfectly executed on the first attempt on HermitCraft. Oh, wait, no. The comments say, Joe, you should have done that perfectly on the first time, because this is HermitCraft. Hold yourself to a higher standard. Also, can I get a shout out? No. And that's a comment for Joe. Okay, so we have actually done a pretty fairly decent job of cleaning that stuff up. I am going to have to go back in and figure out where I put my pork chops and my pickaxe. I feel like that was... It should be pretty recognizable. There should only be one of these. Boom. Yeah, that has a diamond pickaxe in it. And my trident. Oh my gosh, if I lost my trident, I would have been disappointed. Legitimately. Okay, what about these? Are these just empty? Oh, good. More ender pearls and a bunch of shulkers. Okay. So some of y'all are probably like, at this point, Joe, where are you going to put all this stuff? I'm imagining I'm just going to take it all to Pearlescent Moon's trash dump, right? That's what it's for. I heard, though, that Pearl has started putting, what do you call those things? Dumpsters near different people's bases. And since we basically filled up her shop already, we should probably start filling in those dumpsters now. Do I not have... I don't have room for all this stuff, apparently. Okay, hold on. What can I... Okay, we can put this away and that away. And then... Oh, there's still two more. Okay, I did not anticipate not having room for everything. So let's not let these shulker boxes full of stuff despawn. I'm going to go put some things... Of course, there's no ender chest over here anymore. Because that would be convenient. Yeah, World Spawn is a little bit less friendly without some of the amenities. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of my extra pickaxes in here. That leaves me with 3 slots. That should be enough for everything. Except one. Okay. Well, firework rockets, we're just going to have to leave you here and trident to hopefully someplace with a dumpster that we can use. Let's see. I think there was supposed to be a dumpster over by Scar's base somewhere. But the problem with Scar's base is that it's absolutely gigantic. And so a dumpster near Scar's base could be basically anywhere. Let's see. Can we make it as far as this dolphin highway? Yeah. Okay, great. So we're just gonna look around here. Ooh, is that it? Is that the recycling thing? No. That might be a trolley. Is there any water over here? That would be convenient. Doesn't look like it. Scar's dumpster is behind the buildings. Dang, it's about to be nighttime, and it's getting dark. Dumpster's on the backside of the buildings, not Main Street. Let's see if we can find some water to jump in. Okay, not only are we not finding water, but it's getting dark now. Oh, there's some water, but that might be too low. I have a feeling that if we go in the perimeter to use his water to fly back out, we won't get enough height. Ooh, there's some water there. Yeah, water. Okay, dumpster behind the buildings somewhere. Hey, that looks like a dumpster behind the buildings. Just out of curiosity, is the top of this stuff all spawn-proof, or are there going to be creepers that jump down on me? Okay, so, yeah, these look like dumpsters. Are they? Also, are we going to get creepered? What are... Is this not a dumpster? Well, I was very excited when I jumped down off the building, but now that I'm down here, I'm having regrets. Okay, there's an elephant, and there's some balloon carts. People are saying behind the building on the other side. Dang it. Okay. So, it doesn't seem to be back here. We're going to go up this way. Okay, let's check back here. Maybe there's a dumpster behind the buildings on this. Oh, dang it, that's a shrub. Any dumpsters? Are these actual dumpsters or just random boxes? See, I can't tell if this is supposed to be a dumpster or not. Maybe this is supposed to be something else. This looks like a pearlescent moon dumpster, like a compactor thing. This looks like a trash compactor. How does it work? Does it just accept whatever you put in there? Of course, that's the empty one. Okay, so if I put 2 coarse dirt in here, will it compact them? Whoa. That made redstone noises. I wonder if this is connected to Scar's storage system. Because if so, maybe he'd like some emeralds. Wow, there's a lot of good stuff in this box. And some maps. Well, just in case Scar wants some emeralds. Okay. Let me keep looking. This might not be it. This might not be it. Because Pearl would have labeled it. Twinkly Trash Co. Trash pickup every Friday. Okay, see, this is looking more like what we would actually want. That is making a lot of noise. Okay, I'm watching those emeralds fly around. Yep, that was definitely Scar's storage system. Huh. Well, that sure is something. Okay, yeah. Here we go. Let's just leave things for Pearl in here. So, we're going to keep the empty box. Beetroot, blocks of amethyst, oxidized copper, whole bunch of shulkers. Anything that actually has stuff in it, we're going to dump. So, like, the empty ones here, we're going to hold on to. But I'm not even looking in half of these. I don't know what's in them. The ones that we just found in that barrel, they're for trash. Non-compostable trash. That one's empty. That one's empty. Netherrack. Spruce trap door. Pig pen sign. And some rabbit stew. Awesome. Okay. So presumably Pearl will come by here and actually sort all that stuff eventually. So we should be on our way. I, of course, still don't have my rockets with me. That was maybe not my best idea. What I probably should have done was I probably should have dumped one of the empty shulker boxes on the ground. I didn't realize how many empty shulker boxes I had, though, at the time, in fairness. So if we just start walking in a direction, we'll eventually find some water. And we can hopefully trident the rest of the way home. Hey, there's some water now. Look, we're already here. Water time. Taking it easy. Whoa, what is that? Is that a llama head? Oh, that's neat. I wonder if that signifies something. Okay, so then we can just reach this path here. And be on our way. Time skip. I think we're going to wrap up the episode outside of here, kind of showcasing how much better this looks with this. Okay. Okay. Is night about to fall? No, it's noon. Okay, so for the outro, we need to... Let me check who we need to thank. I think we need to thank M. Lavis this time. Because we thanked Winnie T. Ford last time in 58, and we thanked Bioduck in 57. M. Lavis would have been 56, so yeah. M. Lavis. Wait, so, hold on. Did episode 56 come out in March or February? YouTube.com/myvideos. Let's find out. Episode 56 came out March 9th. Okay. But you know what? If I did thank M. Lavis in that one, it would have been me... Well, no, February had 3 episodes. January. So I wasn't running behind, was I? Huh. Oh, no, I was, because January I only got 2 out. Yeah, so I do owe M. Lavis one. Regardless. Okay. So this is going to be a mid-roll ad-free episode thanks to M. Lavis. And I am going to write a haiku. I like to write the haiku after I've mostly edited the episode. So that way I kind of can thematically tie everything together at the end. Upon dead branches, lichen upon dead branches, prepared to spring to life. Prepared to spring. Prepared to spring. Upon dead branches, prepared to spring back to life. Lichen. Saps and grows. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Okay, cool. Whew. The sun is setting on the HermitCraft server here. I just wanted to give one quick look, without the time lapse, at how these lichen-covered branches are looking. I am really happy with with how this turned out. Might be a few places I could still apply bone meal, but on the whole, I would say that our tidying and improvements this episode have been an improvement. Now, you may have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free. That's thanks to Patreon sponsor M. Lavis. In lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now read a haiku of my own devising. Upon dead branches, prepared to spring back to life, lichen saps and grows. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Stream, don't leave. That's not the end of the stream. That's just the end of the recording. Whoops, that's the wrong one. There it is. Yay. Okay, so we are going to make sure we got good audio on that footage, because if I need to do another take, I'd rather do that now while I'm still set up for it and not find out later. Okay, so let me pull up that file. Please tell me it was actually recording. Da, 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 da. There was one tree with orange on it. Yeah. We're not going to do another take absolutely just for that. Here, maybe there's a dumpster. How many empty shoulders? Pond here. Dead branches. Yeah, this sounds fine. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Woo! So we are back from London. I mean, I'm back. My fiance's still in London, but I'm back from London. You guys may or may not be back from London, depending on if you went to London last week. And we got one episode out on Sunday, and we have just concluded recording for a second episode, so we're getting 2 episodes out this week. After taking last week off, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Oh, boy. Okay, so here's what I'm figuring we'll do, is let's take these boxes then, and since we've only been streaming for a half hour, I still have some energy. I don't want to jump right into editing. I forgot those rockets back at World Spawn. You think those despawned? Oh yeah, those are the, I was gonna say, those are the spawn chunks. Of course they despawned. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and actually do some work on digging out the inside of the pinball machine for now. Okay. Kindlelist says there's a warden in one of Scar's buildings. Well, I mean, it won't, like, follow me if I make noise, will it? Because it's like, trapped. Or will it, like, do its little dig thing if there's other players nearby? I don't know, maybe enough about how wardens work. Oh. It might darken the area. Okay, I mean, that's not bad. That I can deal with. Okay. So what do we got over here? We got some water we gotta remove. Yeah, it's been a while since I was away for a week. I like to come in and just do a little bit of work on this every day. Since Decked Out is going to be taking the big priority on Hermits Helping Hermits events. And also, it feels nice if every time I fly past this in a video, there's just a little bit of progress. It could have hit me with the Sonic Blast while I flew around. Well, luckily I wasn't making noise using rockets because I was flying on Trident power. So that's fine. Okay. More spring cleaning? You have 2 double chests that are mostly junk. Yeah, but that doesn't make a good episode. I don't care that those double chests are there. I care about the stuff that shows up visually. Like, those 2 double chests aren't, like, visually filling part of World Spawn. Those 2 double chests aren't the forest that's going to be visible to a bunch of hermits when they fly past my House of Horrors on the way to the shopping district. Those 2 chests aren't, like, decked out. That's going to be in everybody's episode soon. Like, working on stuff that has, like, a visually impactful Like, it's a visual medium. Even though I do a lot of talking, this is a visual medium. The contents of 2 chests, whether those 2 chests are empty or not, I don't care. Evan Netta says, Passover is coming up soon, so spring cleaning makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. One of those lunar holidays. Do. How much... The other thing is I really do need to come back to Jev and ask for sponges to finish working on this, but I need to figure out where all the tunnels are first, and I'm not going to be able to do that without actually clearing a bunch of this stuff out. Is that not... I'm trying to figure out where the source blocks are here. Is this just lag that these aren't going away? I feel like I'm destroying the actual source blocks. Okay. Now, I do need to be careful because sometimes guardians actually escape through here. So I'm just going to, boop, close that up. Or yeah, sometimes they're just hanging out right there. They can just jump over the sides. Yeah, source blocks of water are weird. But the more of this we clear out before getting the sponges... I'm gonna be annoyed if I come in and I think I got all the water, and then I'm like, oh, nope, there was water inside of that wall, too. It's kind of weird that guardians don't spawn, like, in these random tunnels. Like, they spawn in the open ocean, and they spawn inside the temple. But they don't seem to spawn inside these weird tunnels for some reason. I don't know why that is. And I'm outside of the range of the beacon now anyway. For the moment. And I'm back in. Outside the bounding box. Yeah, but don't they spawn outside the bounding box of the, like, they spawn outside the corners of the temple on the ocean, don't they? I don't know. Maybe the tunnel's not big enough. Yeah, that's also possible. Yeah, I don't know how that works. They need at least 4 blocks cubed to spawn on. Okay. Well, that'd do it then, maybe. Okay. Welcome, Clam Meditation. Just getting some bonus HermitCraft progress in, making up for taking last week off. We did some voiceover work. We recorded an outro for the spring cleaning episode. Okay. Oh, wait, I was going to say, I've got all these boxes on me. So let's go ahead and set this down, and we'll start putting stone in here. We've already started putting ores in this one, and coal. Sediment in this one. Oops, that was granite. Then granite in that one. Diorite in that one. Additional granite in there. And then we can put some of these other ones just lying around. Okay. pick up some of this stuff. Whew. So basically we just finished recording episode 59. If you're just coming in, episode 59 is nearly done editing. I need to work on that this afternoon. That'll go out sometime in the next day or so. And I've started thinking about episode 60. I think what I want to do is work on the back box. Actually, well, episode 60 might end up becoming something else. There's kind of two things coming up. One, I want to work on an episode at my own pace where I'm doing base progress on the back box. And what I'm imagining doing is recording, so like tomorrow morning when Quinn is here, I'll basically get out my pixel art stuff and work on this, right? And I was thinking, what I'll probably end up doing is showing a time lapse of working on this while I do kind of like a, games I've played recently roundup. Like, not necessarily new games, because like one of them would be Stardew Valley. But just kind of talk about, do some game reviews, kind of. Not like formal, but just like, you know what, one thing I've been trying to do more lately is, even though I don't have time to play a lot of new games on stream, I have been trying to enjoy video games again. Just for my own mental health, taking breaks and playing just little stuff here and there. And so I was thinking, not all of these games are going to be new. Like Papers, Please for the Papers, Please mobile. I hadn't played the original, but there was a new port that came out maybe 5 or 6 months ago for mobile. Thinking I was talk about the Turtles Shredder's Revenge game that we played with Quinn on Switch for the birthday stream. I was thinking of talking about Stardew Valley, and also this game that I played for the first time last night called Peglin. I don't know, and just I haven't really figured out thematically what ties the games together other than I've played them recently, and maybe that's really all we need. But like I kind of wanted to have something to talk about while doing the pixel art. Oh yeah, talking about the Clank game with the movable tiles. There's also a bunch of games I played at Tennessee Game Days, like board games and card games I wanted to talk about. Draka Bandit says, Joe, do you ever do editing streams? No, because the thing is that the editing computer is basically maxed out while editing. And also, editing has a lot of things that aren't very pleasant audio-wise. Like, I'm skimming back and forth a lot. Yeah, Clank is part of the inspiration for Decked Out. Yep, you're right. So an editing stream would be hard for people to listen to because the audio would be cutting in and out all the time. And the computer would constantly be having a hard time. Like, basically, the only way to really try to do it right would be to have, like, an HDMI pass-through capture of the editing computer and then stream from a second computer. And honestly, I don't think it wouldn't make editing easier for me. And also editing has a, like, I don't think it would be worthwhile. I have done replay mod streams, because those are a little bit more forgiving I think replay mod streams are... Oh, yeah. And Kindleless also points out, based on every editor I know, you probably also swear a lot while editing. Yeah, probably. I don't record myself while editing, but that would not surprise me. I did used to stream myself swearing at Adobe InDesign, trying to make Pitfalls and Penguins book layout work. So, yeah, book layout is not the same as editing video, but I did stream... Because we did a Kickstarter, and we raised $5,400 to print copies of this 260-page book. And when we launched the Kickstarter, the book was like 90% done, but getting that final 10% finished took longer than I was hoping. And so every day I would stream myself working on the book layout for like 2 or 3 hours a day. So just so that the people who kicked in on the Kickstarter knew that like progress was being made and that sort of thing. But yeah, those would not be family-friendly streams. Oh, did I not mute when I sneezed? I'm sorry, I thought I had clicked mute. My bad. Oh, I did mute it. You just saw me sneeze. Got it. Okay. The other thing, though, is I almost wonder if I should save the game review concept, actually, maybe for an HHH or something with other hermits around, where we can each talk about games we've been playing lately. And that actually might be the play. Would be like while working on Decked Out talking about. But then that still leaves me with like trying to think of something I've been up to. Oh wait, actually, that reminds me. There's no stream Saturday night because I've got a family commitment. And I can't talk about what that looks like now. But I could talk about that afterwards. So maybe that would be something to talk about in my next episode. Although that means not starting filming the next episode's audio until Sunday at least. Trying to be more thoughtful about this sort of stuff so that I don't end up in a situation where it's like, oh no, I haven't started editing this footage yet because I didn't know what when I don't know what the episode's gonna look like, a lot of times I end up just with like 12 to 18 hours of footage, and I'm like, oh great, I have to cut this down into a 20-minute, 30-minute thing. It's like, no, I should have just came in from the beginning and said, let's get 20 minutes of doing X and then make that episode. Okay, so this is too far out. Now, I did try, as you can see, I attempted... Somebody said it might be quicker if I just turned everything into moss. Fun fact, it's not. It's not quicker. With the beacons, it's faster to not turn everything to moss. So wait, let's clear this out. Transit, if you have technical questions about software, check their spec sheets, because I don't know if your computer can handle it either. My computer is so heavily optimized for doing video production. I don't necessarily... what might be important to you on a spec sheet and what might be important to me are totally different. Because the answer to me, like, on a gut level, I'm like, I mean, it should be fine, but it should be fine with the equipment I have. That doesn't mean it's fine with the equipment you have. And I don't... And if you ask me questions about the equipment you have, I'd be like, well, I don't know. I don't have that equipment. I haven't done no research on it. Like, I don't know what, like, video encoding looks like with an Intel processor these days, for example. I just don't run any Intel devices. I don't know what, you know, like, there's all sorts of stuff like that that's really hardware dependent, possibly, that I just wouldn't have researched, so. Yeah, turning everything to moss was not a helpful step. We got some extra moss out of it, but... So I think we were better off with the instant break stone, because the moss does not seem to be breaking any quicker with the torch. Like, at least it's not... It doesn't cause any durability, so it saves me the trouble of, like, fixing tools, but... Okay, and there's just a little bit left over here. Bjorn says, Joe, just finished watching your latest episode. Really enjoyed your travelogue. Thank you. Yeah, I put a lot of thought into how I wanted to structure that, and I think it paid off. Oh, people are saying that's better for clearing deep slate. That makes sense, because with deep slate, you don't get the instant mine like you do. Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I don't think we're getting down to the deep slate level with this, though, because when we mine this out, see, this isn't down to the deep slate level, and it's actually going to get higher as we go. But dang it, of course I don't have my trident out. That would be nice. Dang it. Yeah, and these stairs are getting worse. Let's get the trident. But yeah, we're not getting down to deep slate level. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw all the extra moss in the box back here, I guess. Stone, stone, stone. Andesite. Diorite. And I'm thinking this is a fortune pick or shovel. Yeah, we don't want to use a fortune shovel on that. Bad. Fortune shovel's good for snow, bad for this. Let's turn over to our toolbox here. It's always important to use the correct tool for the job. We don't have any. Well, that's a bit of a disappointment. Well, lacking the correct tool for the job, we have a passable tool for the job. We have a efficiency 4 non-fortune one. Terrace Law says that's a small face camera. Yeah, the camera gets bigger when we hit tipping milestones. We are currently $8 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. Okay, so if we did this right, we should be able to just dig a little tunnel under here at eye and foot level. And then look up and mine out a ton of stuff. Dang it, that was not how we wanted to do it. Those little divots make it really annoying. It's okay, we can do it. I believe in us. Welcome, Octronex. Glad you could join us. Actually, it might be pronounced Octrone20. Yeah, welcome, Octrone20. See this pit? I was telling y'all, I was like, these divots are going to cause me trubs. Deep trubs in Divot Town here. Okay, so let's go put these blocks away. Super Mega Coffee Guru says, hey Joe, I have been busy to catch a stream, so welcome back. And your hour breakdown of your trip was a great episode. You're welcome, Super Mega Coffee Guru. Glad you liked it. Okay. Let's, yeah. Oh boy, that pickaxe is nearly done, I think. We should maybe get a different one out. Taten Lyon says, Joe, loving your personality streams of vids. How's the pinball machine coming along? Will it get redstone components? At this scale, redstone wouldn't really function. We're actually digging out part of the inside now where the components are going to go. Hey, I'm Lavis. We actually just recorded an outro thanking you earlier for episode 59. That'll be out in the next day or so. What about a pinball story or two for your next vid to go with working on the base? Yeah, I'd have to think about like what makes a good pinball story, because one of the big problems with pinball tournament stories is what makes or breaks a pinball tournament is the competition with other players. And out of respect for the privacy of the other players I'm playing against, or even if I'm talking about, like, I took my daughter to a tournament and she, in this game, she pulled off this or whatever. How you do in a given game at a pinball tournament is always judged against what happens from the other three players. And so, like, I listen to a lot of pinball podcasts, right? And the guys who are on those podcasts are playing at a level where a lot of times the people they're playing against are basically pinball celebrities, right? And so they can talk about, like, oh man, I made it to the finals in this game and it was me and Keith Elwin and Escher and these other guys. And, like, these other guys are all, like, top 10 in the world pinball players and are kind of folk hero people in their own right. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, me talking about, like, oh yeah, I had a game where I wasn't quite happy with it, and I was like, man, the other person's gonna really have to screw up for me to have a shot. And then I lucked out because they did screw up. Well, it's a big difference between, like, you're playing against one of the top 10 players in the world and you have a fluke game where you do badly, but they also have a fluke game. Because, like, the top 10 players in the world will be like, yeah, you know what? Everybody has a bad game sometimes. I get it. But, like, if I'm talking about, like, some, like, local dentist having a fluke game, like, they didn't sign up to be put on blast on my show. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm trying not to, I haven't figured out how to balance telling stories about that with respecting the privacy of the other players very well. And that's something I'm still kind of mulling over. I ran into this actually a lot with my London episode, because a lot of my London trip was meeting up with Badger's friends and family, and I wanted to talk about how great an experience it was and how fun and funny they were, but I didn't want to share too many personal details about them out of respect for their privacy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, like, talking about stuff I do, like, when I go places, is a lot easier than talking about stuff I do with or against other people, if that makes sense. And so it's delicate. It's worth considering. And that's one of the reasons I have been considering it, but I've also been considering it a while and haven't cracked it. But you know what? Maybe I'll... Excuse me. Yeah, I'll... This is the sort of stuff I should be revisiting, though, with the fresh perspective coming back from London. So, stuff that I had backburnered along these lines is stuff I should be front-burnering now. So, yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. I've explained why I haven't done it so far, but that's no excuse not to continue to try to sort it out in the future. So, yeah, I'll keep thinking. I'll keep thinking. But yeah, it's not a trivial concern. You know what I mean? Like, I really take other people's privacy seriously. I'm not, I don't want people to dread me showing up at things because they're like, ugh, dang it, I have to play against Joe. I hope I don't end up in one of his videos. I don't want to hear about how he thrashed me at Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Like, because that's the other thing, is even if I just say player 1, player 2, like, even if I'm kind of vague, anybody who was at the event would be able to trivially figure out who was playing against me on those machines, right? Like, it's one of those things, like, anytime you're anonymizing something, you always have to ask yourself, how trivial is it to de-anonymize it? And it would be incredibly trivial to de-anonymize this, if that sort of thing. And so a lot of care has to be given. And, So yeah, it's worth doing. It's worth doing, but in some ways, I kind of want to save that for like if I go up to a major tournament at like District 82. Like if I'm going to a tournament that people come from all over the country to, there's more of an expectation that. But I haven't really competed at that level at this point. I'm mostly doing like local events, and local events are supposed to be local. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it affects your international ranking, but it's not the sort of thing like people don't expect how they played at a random local tournament to be something that is discussed in a video watched by 10,000 people. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's. But I want to encourage people to go out to those local events, and without sharing my experiences, it's hard to really sell it. It like just like it was hard to express how meaningful it was spending time with Lauren's friends and family without kind of going into detail about the stories they shared. Right? It was hard for me to express how funny the comedians were at the Comedy Store without retelling their jokes, but you don't go to a new material night and retell someone else's jokes, right? That's not done. So, you know, you have to take me at my word when I'm like, oh yeah, a bunch of comedians came out and they told funny jokes. You gonna give us an example of that, Joe? No. Well, was it really that funny? I mean, honestly, even if it was really funny and I just did a terrible job of retelling their jokes, that makes them look bad. Either way. So, like, you really just kind of have to take me at my word. So, yeah, I really should figure out some pinball story angles. But that is a... Like I said, I'm not going on at length about this to make excuses. I'm going on at length about this because you're right, I need to examine it. And a lot of times I think best by talking through stuff. So thank you for your patience while I just kind of wander around the question, like, But yeah. But like, for example, and this was a while ago now, I've only finished second in a tournament once. And the one time I finished second in a tournament, it was like, it wasn't that there weren't any really good players there, but there were a few factors. Like, one was, it was a classics tournament, and I tend to do better with the older machines because they're really sensitive to nudging and are more likely to tilt, and I'm not confident enough as a player to nudge aggressively, whereas more confident, more experienced players are more likely to overdo it on the old machines because they're used to a lot of the new machines they play on have a more generous tilt sensor, you know. So some of the more experienced players I played against just had a few bad balls where they overplayed the nudge, and because like it's one of those like in economics there's this concept that sometimes the inferior product is a better fit. It's like, for that particular set of games, I was the inferior player, but because I wasn't pushing the limits of the machines, I wasn't accidentally overstepping them, right? And so I ended up taking second, but like, you know, I don't really feel super comfortable talking too much about how like the individual games broke down or things like that, because anybody could figure out like who I played against in the individual games. Or like if I was like, yeah, one guy did this, it's like, okay, well, you know, based on the way the scoring turned out at the end of the game, because like these tournament rankings and stuff are pretty like, not only the tournament rankings themselves, but the actual like play-by-play of the game breakdowns, you can find them online if you know what you're doing. They're pseudo-public. And so, like, if it wouldn't be hard for somebody to say, like, oh, yeah, based on who got fourth place that game, it's pretty obvious that, you know, if Joe says somebody tilted 3 times right away, it was them, right? You know what I mean? So I gotta be really thoughtful. Matthew says if you had games against other streamers, it would be more open. Well, that's the thing, is like there are certain pinball tournaments that are really more high-level players and more public figures. And that would be exactly, yeah, like the District 82 events. But like the thing is though, my story that's there would be, oh yeah, I went up to Wisconsin and got thrashed by people who flew in from all over the world. So stories about me doing well are usually stories about players who are objectively better than me having an off night. Because, like, like the way Escher Lefkoff, the guy who's literally first in the world at pinball, describes kind of the pinball, like, tiers of players. He's like basically the top tier pinball players, like the people that are in the top 100. The difference between people in the top 100 and like the next 1,000 people is consistency. Like Escher will go in there and almost always have a good ball. Almost always. It's almost certain. Now, not never. Not never have a bad ball, but almost never. And more importantly, that's if there is a bad ball, it won't become a second bad ball. Escher knows, well, that was a absolute fluke, and it won't happen again. If it happened because of some sort of defect in like the surface of the playfield, a player at Escher's tier is good enough to go, okay, I see it now, and I'll route around the damage on ball 2. Whereas a almost top tier player might let it get into their head. You know, you can be in the top 1,000 players in the world, but not the top 100, and outplay Escher sometimes, but not consistently. That top 1,000 is full of people who can have a lot of great games. Maybe 80, 90% of their games are great games. Hey, 90% great games is really good, but it's not that Escher 99, almost 100%, right? You know, and so sometimes when I'm playing against players, I'm below that. I'm well below that tier. I have a great game maybe 1 in 10 times, maybe 1 in 20. But sometimes I happen to go to an event where my 1 in 10 odds, I just have a few great games in a row, when other people who normally 9 out of 10 times would have a great game, or 8 out of 10 times, they have a bad game. You know? And so that's the weird thing, is I'm not good enough at pinball that when I have a winning night, I can attribute it solely to skill. When I have a winning night, it's because I coincidentally played against players who win 60 to 70% of the time, and I only win maybe 20% of the time, but I happen to get lucky and they didn't. And that feels rude to brag about, if that makes sense. It feels presumptuous, if that makes sense. And so like I feel like I'm celebrating that I happen to get lucky at roulette while some other people lost at roulette. It, you know, and I mean I am definitely improving at pinball. I'm having better I can tell that I'm improving my consistency and I'm improving the quality of my play. But I'm also, what am I world ranking wise right now? Let me pull up my IFPA profile. IFPA, my stats. Right now, I'm 3,421st in the world. No, wait. No, that was my highest rank. Right now, I'm 3,466th in the world. So, you know, I'm not, I would say I'm a slightly below average tournament player. But even a slightly below average tournament player can have a good night here and there. But yeah, anyway, so what I'm hoping is that as I improve at pinball, um, I can get to the point where I could talk about it and, like, come in and be like, hey guys, years of practice paid off and I've started winning tournaments, instead of just being like, hey guys, I got second place because a bunch of stupidly good players got annoyed that the tilt bobs were too tight. You know? But, like, that's just how it is sometimes. Now, the thing is, though, in terms of ranking and stuff in pinball, only your 20 best games of the last 2 years actually affect your international ranking. So when people, like, go to a tournament like that and they have a bad night, it doesn't drop their ranking, but it is kind of a waste of their evening in terms of they didn't improve their ranking either, you know? But, you know, you got to play and you got to practice, and... Kindleless points out I could talk about Billy Mitchell. I don't really want to talk about Billy Mitchell. I feel like that's a waste of my time. Like, some people build their entire channels around that sort of thing, but that's not what I'm here to do. But yeah, so... Mini Cheese Mouse says, how's the jet lag, Joe? It's hard to tell because my sleep was really bad in the first place. But, like, it's hard to tell. And the other thing is, it's like, I feel, even though I'm not sleeping great, I'm still feeling really good because I got 4 days of relaxation in a row, which, like, never happens. But I know that I'm going to burn through whatever grace period buffer that gives me relatively soon. So, I don't know. I don't know yet. Shildy Freak says, what if you focus the video less on the actual tournament performance and more on just impressions of the local pinball scene? Oh, that is also it's one of those things, once again, kind of like meeting Badger's family and friends. Like, the pinball scene, you can talk about it in aggregate, but there are certain, like, people shape a scene like that, right? Like, for example, one person who is kind of a public figure, he used to write strategy guides for fighting games, and he owns a local arcade. Jason Wilson. I have nothing bad to say about Jason Wilson. He does a fantastic job of running Game Galaxy, and he does a great job of helping other folks in the local scene to run tournaments. He organizes tournaments himself. He helps tournament directors for other events. He is super friendly and patient. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I used to think it would be cool to run an arcade, and I saw how much patience he has to spend just doing his job, running events and stuff like that. Like people like him are what make the tournament scene great. But I don't want to talk about some of the other people because they're just random people from around town who happen to help organize tournaments or are always happy to teach you a game or things like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't get a scene by having one person. You get a scene by having dozens, and it's the interactions between them that make that scene, right? It's a lot of moving parts, and I want to do, in the very least, I want to, like, demonstrate my appreciation for those people by respecting their privacy, right? I want to do what I can to make the tournament scene better, but I certainly don't want to make it worse, you know? So yeah, but I see what your point there, Shildy Freak. Like it's probably worth figuring out a way to talk about, but I just haven't, like, I think I would frame it in terms of like, hey, if you were trying to start a good pinball scene in your city, what would it take? What sorts of people do you need working together? Like, there's probably a way to frame this where I'm speaking more broadly, even though I might be citing specific examples, but like, just saying like, yeah, you need a lot of cool people. That's not good enough, you know? That's not helpful enough to make a video about, you know? But like, I am absolutely thrilled at what a great pinball scene Nashville has, and like, it's really, like, our pinball scene is growing super fast. When I started showing up for tournaments last June, that was kind of one of the ways I kind of tried to keep myself sane when my daughter went away for the summer, because I always miss her a lot when she goes away. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start going to these pinball tournaments once a week, just to kind of have other people to talk to and be social and, you know, that sort of thing. And like, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, when I started attending these events, though, they were like, wow, things are really growing here. We had like 30 people last week. Normally we'd only have like 25 at this weekly tournament, and it's really growing. And then like recently they had like 48 people show up on like a weeknight for this pinball tournament, like less than a year later. But it's one of those things, though, that luckily the way these tournaments are structured, you can scale them up pretty easily, and it doesn't make the event worse for anybody. It actually makes the event better. The more players you have, the more points the tournament is worth, especially if they're like, the IFPA keeps track of like player skill levels, and the point value for like your ranking is based partially on how many people show up. Yeah, I had Total Nuclear Annihilation, and before that I had Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, you know, it actually would have been thematic to remove that present as part of the spring cleaning episode, because unlike cleaning out those double chests, that would be visually... Yeah. What do I want to do? I'm trying to think, like, because that episode's already pretty long, especially with us wandering around Scar. I'm gonna cut a lot of the wandering out, but I feel like, yeah, if we're gonna remove the present, we should do that in an episode. Yeah. You know what? There's a spot where I could do... I know where I could add me removing that present. Let's record that. See, this is good. This is why we're doing this episode 59 recording stream. No, I don't want to save it for the next episode, Alex, because the next episode won't be about spring cleaning, right? Like, thematically, we want to have this unified. Queen Dark Lady says, even if I don't play directly against him, playing in the same tournament as Escher will give me more points than playing in a random local tournament. Well, if Escher came to your random local tournament, then that particular night, the tournament would be worth more points. Yeah. Last place in a tournament against Escher will give you more points than last place in a tournament without Escher. Gross Jr. says, sounds like a really fun way to be social and meet people. The best part about it in terms of being social and meeting people is that everybody, every round you're assigned a machine and a slot. Like, hey, like it'll go up on, like, there's a bunch of TVs that say, like, Godzilla, player 1, Joe Hills, player 2, somebody else, player 3, somebody else, player 4, somebody else. You know, so I'll walk up to Godzilla, the machine, and I'll stand there and wait for other people to walk up. And when they do, I'll be like, "Hi, I'm Joe. I'm player 1," and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm Jane. I'm player 3. Awesome, good to meet you, Jane." Somebody else will come up and like, "Hey, I'm Will. I'm player 4." Right? And so so you introduce yourself to 3 other people basically every time you play a game by name. You learn their names. They learn your name. So, and a lot of the same people come back every week, right? So, I would say maybe 3/4 of the people I play against in a given tournament, I've already met at a previous tournament now, at least for my local events. But that means also every tournament I'm meeting a few new people, right? So, yeah. But because everybody knows everybody, like Shieldy Freak points out, yeah, at that scale, even if you're trying to anonymize telling stories about people, anyone there would know who you're talking about. Exactly. You know. So, let's go ahead and actually switch back to recording mode. Start recording. HermitCraft Season 9, Episode 59, Segment, India, Take 1, and Action. Let's get this pickaxe out. Okay. One bit of spring cleaning we need to do is, even though I have been clearing out all sorts of rocks and blocks back there, I've still got this Christmas present from XP Crafted. And as much as I appreciate the way it looks, we will need to clear it out. Uh-oh. I always forget there's a sound sensor down there. Hopefully it doesn't, like, blow anything up at this point. I think we've burned all the TNT in there. But, you know, better safe than sorry. Not safe enough to actually, like, go check. I didn't verify that the TNT was gone, but it's probably fine. Either way, let's just go ahead and rip this out. Once again, thank you to XP Crafted. If you haven't watched any of XP Crafted's episodes, I hope you check him out. I played a card game against him a little while ago on my own channel, but he's always up to something fun. He's building a cave that's, like, scaled for giants this season. I was over there very early this season, but I haven't been back by. So you know what? If you want to know what it looks like, don't watch my episodes. Check out his. Okay, so here is... yeah, this is where the TNT dispenser is. And so, like, basically, if you made a noise, it would dispense a TNT into the water, which then makes noise but doesn't actually blow up because of the water. Great. We're just going to go ahead and remove all these surplus blocks. We're going to remove that with Silk Touch, so hopefully we can claim it. And I was going to say, I'll use a block to remove the source block. Yeah. And then, I mean, at this point, we don't have the right blocks to properly remove the wool, so we might as well just go nuts with fireworks with them. If the fireworks do a really good job, then we'll hold on to them for the rest of the episode. If they do a poor job, we'll probably just throw them on the ground and abandon them. I'll leave that to you to decide. Time skip! Okay, so we're going to stop the recording there. We don't need to show actually removing the whole thing. But is this the first time I've picked up smooth sandstone this whole season? Or at least since the update. That's funny. Okay, so save this for the beginning of the next episode as a hey, I forgot thing. No. Because then that really only works if it bridges thematically what you're doing the next episode. And I haven't figured out thematically what I'm doing the next episode. It's better to throw this in the current episode. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and toss these lights back on the ground there. Okay, making some progress. Welcome, Risa Molina. Yep, we're just doing a little bit of cleanup. We had kind of a shorter craft stream earlier because Cleo needed to go to the dentist, and I was just like, I was doing my best, but I hadn't eaten, and I'm still a little bit, like, if anything, the jet lag is throwing off my digestion and eating schedule more than my sleep schedule, but those interact, and so yeah, I was like, I just kind of hit a wall where it's like, okay, I need to eat something right now. I'm gonna take a 2-hour break and come back and stream some Minecraft. So thank y'all for being patient with me this morning, but yeah, my body is still adapting to being back in Central Time. Am I gonna remove the ocean monument? Yep. At least the part that's interacting with the wall, but not yet, because right now I'm gonna come back with sponges to deal with that. Like, there's a lot of parts of this that need sponges, and I don't have them on me. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna toss these in here, as well as that, and that, and that, and that, and that, I guess. I don't know. Dirt. Go in here. Actually, let's pull all the dirt out of there and put the sand and gravel in that one. Okay. Flint is going away. Great. Bonhey says, thanks for streaming, Joe. Thank you for enjoying the stream. Speaking of which, if you are enjoying the stream, we are only $8 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. As you can see by our abacus here. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. It's funny because we've removed like probably 1,000 blocks this episode, but removing that present there in the middle actually feels like progress in a different way. Because there's more of an emotional barrier to removing the present. I don't know, just because it's like, I'm fond of it. But it's like, no, Christmas is over. It's time to move on, Joe. It's time to move on. This is not a fast pickaxe, is it? No, that's efficiency 4. Let's get efficiency 5 out. Okay. Unbreaking 3 and mending. Do we have a fortune? Yeah. Okay, so I think I need to come, yeah. We need to remove one layer on the top here so we can come from the bottom and remove the rest. I mean, almost any time someone pranks me on HermitCraft, they're like, are you going to remove it? And I'm like, no, I'll just leave it forever. I like it. It was nice of you to put in the effort. And now I'm awake. Okay. Where's the range for that? I feel like we're close, but okay, interesting. Blocks come and go, but pranks are a treasure. Yeah, that's true, Quill. Okay, let's remove some blocks. Boy. Are my wordles still in Corrales' attic? No, I moved him to the world border, didn't I? No, we moved him to the cave eventually. The world portal. The word portal. I think I did leave a bunch of my other Halloween decorations in Corrales' attic, and I never got them down. Okay, so some of this we actually do need to clear up from up higher. And definitely need to store some things. Ah, I'm in a hole. Okay. Dirt can go away. Raw copper and raw iron. Do 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 do. Yeah, I haven't really been down to the thinking cave because we had to remove all the signs because we were having lag issues at spawn. And so I can't put more signs in there. And that was the benefit of the thinking cave, was putting signs in it. So, womp womp. Do do dee 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 da. Da dun 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 dun. Dee 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 da. La da 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 da. Doodle doo. Doodle doo. I can throw the Christmas decorations at Corrales' place now. Yeah, I didn't really decorate very much for Christmas, though. Everything just moved so fast. Everything is always moving so fast. Just never feel like there's enough time. Ay, ay. I'm doing my best to get this addressed, to deal with these things. Yet, I'm always behind. If I could rewind or use time traveling rings, maybe I'd somehow have all these things accomplished in time. I would meet all of my every single deadlines. Rebuild the present in the attic? No, I'm too lazy. I would have taken screenshots of it. I could go back and replay mod and do it, but like, no, we're just taking it down. Just taking it down. I'm trying to avoid creating more work. And that sounds like more work. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. NJ just rolled in with some bad news in the Discord chat. Has to keep the braces on for another 6 months. Ah, that's a very unfortunate, NJ. Sorry to hear that. Okay. Looks like it's time to lay our heads down and dream once more. Ooh, this is actually looking pretty significant progress-wise. I was gonna say, it's getting dark. Why can't I sleep? Let me lay my head down. Let me dream. Okay. We'll just drop off some of these here. Make a few blocks from a few rocks. And drop those in there. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. What do we want to do next? I feel like... So the actual depth we need to dig down to there is not going to work. Okay. Well, I mean, it could work. How low do we need to go? I actually dug down to that point. It's all the way down to here at this level. So, yeah, that's when we start hitting those. So we're nowhere near as deep as we need to be. Okay. Yeah, I think it is probably time for me to go actually do my editing now, but I don't wanna, because this is more fun. But, let's see. Okay, Impulse had implied he was streaming, but, oh, hey, Play in the Mud is a Nashville streamer who does throwing clay. Why don't we /raid Play in the Mud? Making mugs in the studio. Earthbending stream with a cat. Yeah, there is a cat there. So if you're interested in ceramics, here's a Nashville streamer in the Makers and Crafting category called Play in the Mud. When you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills raid here. Anyway, until next time y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.